All right, we're moving on to the Monday nighter, Chargers, Saints. And wow, has Herbert been spectacular. This total opens up at 52. It's now down to 50 at some books. There's 51s, there's 50.5s, and 50s. The Saints open up at minus 7.5, and now there are some 8s on the board, but mostly 7.5s. And let's just start, and I alluded to it early in the show, and it was Anthony Lynn's decision to hand the ball off on his own 9 with 47 seconds left when the Patriots have one timeout to a rookie who's already made one costly fumble. I wouldn't be able to handle that if I owned a team. And I don't know if I'd even be able to handle that if I was a big fan of a team, because you're playing with fire. And I don't want some fucking pyro coaching my football team. You want to run into the locker room up 24/7, believing in yourself. Anthony Lynn's the reason why they lost that football game. And that mistake was so blatant to me. Like, I was driving and listening to the game on the radio, and I just why are you going to give them any hope? And of course it ends up in your end zone. Just an asshole play decision by a coach that I've not been trusting. I've been trusting less and less. And my dad is a really big believer in him, and I've been trusting him less and less and less. And when he makes that kind of decision, you're not allowed to coach my football team. You're just all right. So Kelly fumbles the ball. I'm still beside myself. Let's go to Herbert, though. 20 of 25 for 290 yards, 3 touchdowns. Eckler left late in the first quarter with a hamstring injury, did not return. So Mike Williams, hamstring injury. You have 2 starting offensive linemen, Bulaga and Trey Turner, that did not play. And then you lose Storm Norton. So they have a bunch of injuries right now. Saints are coming off 35-29 win at Detroit, and this was so impressive to me. Everything was going against the Saints football team. I guess they didn't get any sleep because they had to keep getting tested. They played the game without 6 injured starters. They went down. They're on a 2-game losing streak. They went down big early, and I was extremely impressed with Breeze. Even though he's a noodle arm, and all the things we've been saying about him are true. What you can't take away from Breeze is the leadership. What the Saints did by easily coming back was as impressive as a game that I've seen all year. No Lattimore, no Janoris Jenkins, no Andrus Peat, Ryan Ranchick, Michael Thomas out, Davenport, Jared Cook, and yet they come back. I can't say enough good things about the Saints, and I can't say enough bad things about Anthony Lynn. Chargers, Saints, Monday nighter. What do you think here, Bebsy?
Well, you said a mouthful there, buddy. Man, it's hard to disagree with anything you said. I'm still with your dad in my support of Anthony Lynn, but it feels like he's better when they're playing from behind, and I don't mean in a game, I mean in his season. It feels like every year that he's been the coach, he's been garbage out the gates, and they don't start on time season-wise, not game-wise, and then towards the latter half of the season, he starts putting it together. So is this the week he starts putting it together? Is this the week where he starts being less conservative and making these moves? And who's still in and who's still out for the Saints? Is Michael Thomas has been questionable for a couple weeks in the row. Is he back? Is he playing? That's a huge factor. It's hard to bet on a rookie on the road on Monday night against a vet who's been there a million times, regardless of the fact that I still don't believe in Breeze or his arm this year. This is a tough spot for me to be interested in at all, because I think it's too many points to give the Saints, but I can't bet on a rookie quarterback in this situation.
Yeah, and Brady St. Lynn said again he wants Taylor playing quarterback. It's just asinine.
If you put in Taylor at this point with how good Herbert has looked, then I'm officially with you, Jimmy, and Lynn gets fired at the end of the year. I don't think Lynn's going to get fired mid-season. Like I still believe Gase and Quinn will, but
when Anthony Lynn hands the ball off first and 10 on his own 9 with a 24-7 lead, 47 seconds left, and the opposing team has Tom Brady at quarterback, and they only have one timeout.
it was awful.
I was certain at that point that Anthony Lynn's not a gambler, because gamblers know that the worst case scenario can happen, and it happens. And Anthony Lynn must not gamble, because him making that decision, I'm still beside myself. I think that this is a spot where Herbert comes back to reality.
I think Herbert struggles a little bit in this game, but I think he's good. I think he's a good football player. And, sometimes you get quarterbacks who come out of college and they're surrounded by so much talent and they look like trash. You see it a lot with Alabama quarterbacks. This isn't a knock on Tua. We haven't seen him play yet. But a lot of the time with Alabama quarterbacks, there's so much talent around them. All they have to do is not fuck up. And then you see quarterbacks who come from different backgrounds, like Carson Wentz, for example. Say what you will, coming out of North Dakota State, nobody knew about him, and he was playing with trash. And then he got into the league, and prior to his injury, he was very good. Now, Herbert didn't have a ton of playmakers around him in Oregon. So maybe he's better than we think. Maybe he's better than we give him credit for. He threw some dimes under pressure last week that were truly impressive. To be honest with you, even though he lost and he didn't have as good of stats, I thought, and this isn't me being a dick right now towards Brady, I thought he played better than Brady last week. He certainly threw nicer balls. So I have faith in Herbert right now. I just don't know how much I trust him on Monday night against a vet. This is an experienced, talented Saints team. And it's too many points to give the Saints, but I can't bet on a rookie quarterback in this spot.
I wonder if the Saints early is the look. I think something happened this week, New Orleans.
Well, we've talked about this before. New Orleans has, over the last few years, they have started slow and then they turn it on and they become this unstoppable force. And a lot of that has to do with them being vets. This is a good football team that, okay, they didn't start on time, but they get it together. They're well coached. Much like Belichick's teams. How many times in the last 10 years have you said about Belichick, oh, they don't look great early in the year and the Pats have fallen off. And then he just, he gets it together. He figures out exactly what he's dealing with and they start kicking the shit out of everybody. Well, I don't think Peyton is that much different. I don't think he's on the Belichick level, but he's still a very good coach. And so they kind of settle into what works for them.
I wish that the Superdome was going to be filled and nuts.
But it's not. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's the home field advantage. The only factor right now is travel. There isn't a crowd factor like there normally is. There's a weather factor to some degree, but it's just not the same. You have to. It's interesting because you have to pull that element out of it right now. The Seahawks and the Chiefs are two teams that have a massive advantage with home field because their stadium's so loud that opposing offenses can't get into a rhythm. It just doesn't exist this year.
Oh, man. I think that the Chargers on the second week on the road are going to get mauled by the Saints early, at least early. Second week on the road, going up against a Saints team that had such a difficult week and turned a corner. And I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. Early double up -3 first quarter, and if they can keep doing it, then God bless them. But right now, I feel like there's too big an opportunity to fade a rookie quarterback on a giant Monday nighter on their second road game against the Saints team that turned a corner. So first quarter, first half for me on the Saints. The first half that I'm getting is -4.5. The first quarter is -3, and I'm moving on it. -4.5.